Trigger warning.
Welcome to Through a Glass Darkly. You're listening to me on YouTube, not on the radio at all this time. This is my monthly, once a month. And I'm sorry I had to go early the last two times because I have to do another recording for the Future Forecast group. That's going to be a mind bender when I get to that. But anyway, as usual, for this particular broadcast, nothing prepared. Happy, pre-Thanksgiving. I hope you all enjoyed your Halloween. I forgot that I have all these like nifty banners, so welcome. And let's see. Let me just go through some of the comments thus far. Let's see. Yeah, so we're just saying hello, Logan. Let's see. Oops. Just rolling through. There's a lot more comments tonight. Whoa, it's a lot more people than normally show these things. How you doing, Spiritual Ascension? Good to see you. No, it's not new. I've had that for years. I got another one too. I'll show you the other one. Well, yeah, why not? I have all sorts of tricks up my sleeve that I recorded years ago. Here's the other one.
Four-dimensional chess.
You like that one? And then, I could loop through all these, right? You see this regularly. I don't even know. I'm just going to click on every one because they're stupid. Yeah, exactly. That's a little Hulk Hogan there. Yeah, I haven't showed these in a while. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Raising the roof a little bit. I have an idea. No, never mind. That's knife hands from the Army and the Marine Corps, which I was not in, but the Marine Corps uses them too. And, the usual subscribe. Yeah, I know. I'm judging myself and I'm coming up very short. They got little YMCA. What else we got? That's kind of that. They ever see the black guy behind the tree? That's that thing. Yeah. These things are absolutely terrible, but a little thumbs up. Empty chair. Yeah, high five. Just a wave. I don't know when I had I recorded all this stuff like 2-3 years ago. I put so much work into this channel. Oh yeah, little shilling. Oh yeah, let me go back to that. I guess you can't see this you can't see that too well. Yeah, there it is. There it was. Little what's that movie? They Live. Hear no evil, see no evil, think whatever. It's that thing. Yep, same thing. Black guy behind the tree. The meme. All right, so I've gone through every stupid little thing I have. I probably have some more, but they're not. They were for like very specific circumstances that don't have. Geez, 17 comments. What the hell? I just got to figure out where I left off. All right, yeah, I left off. Anyway, yeah. This comment set off the deployment of every one of my stupid little tricks. Let's see. Glad to see you, Angela Column 9895. Hey, Anthony this year. Good to see you. Hello, Spider Bite. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, no. Yeah, I've had that one for years. I don't use it on the radio show because I use the radio station StreamYard assets. So I didn't want to import all of my IP. Oh my god. Oh, Spiritual Ascension said I've been hearing disturbing things about owls lately. Well, tell me because I hear them almost every night. Oh, the winky ones. Oh, spirit fingers. I could probably make that happen. They are heavily tied to Lilith. I don't know. I like them. They've always been good to me. Why is the chat not on the TV anymore on any live stream? Say more about that. I'm not sure. I mean, I could do something like that, but I don't like how it looks because I could just put the one that I'm working on straight up. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I mean, you all obviously see chat because you're chatting. On owl scoping. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know why, if that's true, I would see so many of them so often. Yeah, they messed the MI6 messed with them pretty badly. Absolutely. He was also associated with Richard Spencer, who was like alt-right, like crazy. Well, just a little like off the deep end. So that's part of it. But he was also associated with Iran in like the opposition on the opposition side. So who knows? Oh, that yeah. You have to. Oh, this is weird. Let me try something. Oh, I'm just playing with it right now. I'll allow it for a little bit until I get annoyed by it. Huh. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what I was going to talk about today. Uh, yeah, my like subscriber growth is just it's starting to tank. So like after that one video I put up about DMT. Huh, that's kind of weird. All right, let's remove that. That was starting to annoy me a little bit. Oops. Well, that's good news. Not good. Well, I haven't lost any. Like I'm not down. I mean, I'm down, but I'm not down from my original investment. Although I am getting, I was about to use the R word, bent over and taken advantage of on Ethereum, and then H bar, I'm getting just spanked, just annihilated. But I don't panic. I just kind of, you know, Bitcoin's going to come back. That's a long term. That's a long term play. I have a certain target on cash that I want to reach, and then every dollar above that, I'm just going to start putting in investments and long term investments. So ETFs and not start. I've been doing it. I always maximize your 401k. There's no excuse not to do that. I've done that for like 20, 25 years, and you will, without talking about money, like you will have quite, you'll have a pretty, not a, I can like not work again nest egg, but you'll have a decent nest egg if you do that, just from the power of compounding. But I haven't done that as much on the like outside of retirement accounts, which is stupid, but I've always been paranoid. So I keep way more cash than I should, which is stupid, but it has served me well. I also paid off my house a very long time ago because again, paranoid. That was not stupid. I'm very happy that I did that. Because I wouldn't have been able to spend 2.5 years starting this channel, without like a full-time gig. But what I'm trying to do is reach a certain cash level, which I should reach it by the end of the year. If I didn't have property tax to pay, I would be there by the end of this month. But once I get to that number, then every incremental dollar I'm just going to invest, right, over time, outside of 401k stuff. Oh, and yeah. Look, not if you're not into like Bitcoin and stuff like that, now's the time. Now's the, because as soon as it's all dollar cost averaging, right? So, like I got in at like $99, or not $99, 99,000. But I only have a fraction of a Bitcoin or whatever. But anything below 99, I'm buying. But don't take investment advice from me, blah, 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 blah. Spider Bite 401k is a US thing that Congress created where basically you can invest pre-tax. They take it out of your paycheck. You can invest in stock assets, tax, before pre-tax, and that amount of money is not taxed until after you retire and you start to withdraw money. So you get the power of compounding without kind of taxation. So it's pre-tax dollars growing ad infinitum. Whereas a Roth IRA is post-tax dollars, but you're never taxed on it because you've already been taxed, right? At least on the whatchamacallit, the money that you put into it is post-tax dollars. But in terms of you can't take your money out without like a significant penalty. It's supposed to stay there until retirement, and then you're supposed to take it out. You're mandated to take it out a certain amount per year. So, but yeah, if you do that for if you put, I don't know, I can't remember what the limits are. At my age this year, I can put up to 31K in. So literally in January, I didn't get a paycheck. I just fully funded my 401k, and then it just let it go. And now it's worth like 35K, right? Because it's in the ETFs and stuff like that. So it had a year. I didn't, without doing anything, it just grew to, 4K. So yeah, I had big growth until 19K. I'm worried that I'm not going to make 20K by the end of the year because things have like slowed down significantly, all because of one video, which was a good video, and I would have the guest on again, but it touched the YouTube creepy feelies, I guess. Yeah, I mean Bitcoin, the dollar ain't gonna last. It's just not with Washington D.C. clown town. Like it's always going to be around, but it's just depreciating. right? And even holding it right now, you're losing money. So I think there's probably, I mean, again, um, I'm not a proclaimed financial expert. I've done well enough with money to know how to do it, but you shouldn't be taking advice from me. Yeah, I mean, I think investing in gold right now would be like sticking your head in a buzzsaw because it's already appreciated. So there's some mania. It's a good counter cyclical, but if the economy improves or something like that, gold will get hit. And right now, when you see people lining up to buy gold, you're in a bubble or you're like approaching a bubble. So just be careful with that. Again, I'm not here to give investment advice, but do an Excel of 19.5% of wages over 30. You'll have every penny you made. Michigan salmon, what do you mean by that? Just like just talking about taxes and how they just destroy you or what? Yeah, yeah, that's the other. Your tax bracket is generally less once you retire. Spider bite. The way you should do it is just the way I did it. If you were to do it, put enough money in it that you're willing to lose it all. Right? Like, don't put. We were talking about like current, cryptocurrency, but I think Bitcoin is probably extremely expensive, but it's probably has relative safety. Like it's one of the ones that is likely to win. But don't put any more. Like if you put $100 in, you just have to tell yourself if I lose $100, all of it, then it is what it is. Don't put like significant. Just or at least I wouldn't recommend it. Um, but again, I'm not here to offer financial advice. Go to your tax lawyer and whatever. Hey, Gray Al, good to see you, man. Well, it is an evil trap, but it's a trap that is inevitable because, again, they're not managing the dollar very well. So, hold on. Sorry, I just got to take some care of something really quick. Um, yeah. Well, the first thing you should do is like, it's the market was so overvalued too. It's a tough time to get in. Generally, the best way to get into it is just put a small percentage of your paycheck into like an ETF, like that is just like the S&P 500 or something like that. And initially, you may lose some. Just don't panic, and it just builds up over time because market returns are something like 12%, 10 to 12% over the last 50 years or something like that. So there's some down years, you lose some, you gain some, you just don't panic and sell. But Bitcoin is gone when the inevitable collapse, and I mean, if there's a collapse, everything kind of goes. And if that happens, gold ain't going to help you. Like, gold will get you robbed. The best thing to have is beans and bullets. And that's the most valuable commodity you can have in that situation. Yeah. 401k is pretty good. Just like if there's one thing you do, pay your future self first, always. Right. I always make sure, even when I was like doing this for 2.5 years without a full-time job, I literally made it a point to open a self-employed 401k and maxed it, or sort of, maxed it those years. So I've never missed a year. So no, I think it was a rate of return of 19.5%. You would make back your wages a lot faster than 30 years. Okay, according to suspicious observers, Roger says we have over 1% chance of a solar kill shot in the next few days. Could take down grid and Bitcoin. But again, if it takes down Bitcoin, it's going to take down all financial records. So, like, you're going to have all kinds of problems. ZERP, if anything. Darkly coin. Yeah, that's the other thing. Don't invest in meme coins. Just don't. Just don't. It's just like, don't. Oh. Yeah. What's VOO? Well, anyway. All right. So, what else? What else is going on? Did people enjoy the Giorgiani episode? It looks like it's doing fairly well. Let me see. Yeah, it's doing. It's not like the Nathaniel Gillis episode, but it's like, we might breach 1,000 tonight. That's decent. Oh, Vanguard ETF for, yeah, that's perfectly, that's like a perfectly reasonable one. I think Vanguard also has low fees too. Fees will get you, but it's an ETF, so it's not like it's a mutual fund. Mutual funds will get you, but yeah, if you just grow with the market, So I do the same thing. I rarely buy individual stocks because I actually did that for a living. I was an equity analyst on Wall Street, and then I invested for like a small fund. But unless you're like an expert on these stocks and have time to spend, it's best to just kind of pick a few ETFs and then diversify that way. I don't know why I'm talking about stocks on like a Through a Glass Darkly podcast. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't put up all my stuff. Where did that go? Let me get that back up. Anyway, it's got to look good. It's got to look good, people. It's got to look good. Let's see. Back to the comments. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what you're saying, ARG, to, but yeah, it seems complicated, all this stuff. But if you do all that stuff, you'll have enough to retire. Actually, I just got a call from, I think he's got a manager now, David Morehouse. It was a number that I didn't recognize, so I didn't answer. So I got to call them back. So maybe, because I'm just going to ask if he can appear on. Yeah. You get, if you're like me and you've lived through a few, you get your face. I got my face ripped off in the 2000 2001 crash, and that's the last time it happened. I did fine through the like financial crisis because I'd been through that crap cycle. I knew when to buy, which is after everybody is like through a few months of like post panic and everything's low. I remember in January 2009, I maxed my 401k in like the first few months, and I did very well because everything had already collapsed. But it's best to just do dollar cost averaging, where you just have literally have a certain amount just taken out of your paycheck every month and then automatically invested, and then it takes care of itself and you don't have to worry about it. Oh, I had fun talking to him. You have to look. This is going to sound arrogant, okay? And I know it sounds arrogant, but one of the first things he said to me is just like, "Oh, you went to HBS," and I'm just like, "Yeah, I did." so, um, I enjoyed talking to him. I had a good time talking to him, but uh, but again, I try not to be pompous and arrogant, but I do have two undergraduate degrees from Stanford and two graduate degrees from Harvard, so I can hold my own. I with most people. So and an undergraduate degree one was in electrical engineering and the other was history. So I'm kind of a generalist, kind of a jack of all trades, a master of none, but I can hang enough. So yeah, you're right, Logan. You're right. I went to Harvard. Yeah, I get you. I get you. I did serve in the army too, so hopefully that offsets it a little bit. You cannot hang. What are you talking about? Of course you can hang. You hang here all the time. It's totally fine. I bet you somebody who just subscribed to the account probably thinks I'm joking about everything I just said. Right? Like that I'm just making it up. But that's fine. That's totally fine. Thank you, my Michigan Sandman. But I just worked hard. That's all. I'm not that bright, obviously. Maybe I'm not. Maybe you're like, eh. I was watching. I can't remember the name of the show is, but I know you're here, Logan. Your function is to bust my balls. Like that's literally you and Gray Al. Like you're here to. Well, Gray Al's here to bust everybody else's balls for being late, but you specifically are here to bust my balls. So that's, you call it like Big Ball Buster or something like that. That's fine. Not yet. Yet. They didn't have ChatGPT back in my day. They didn't have AI and ChatGPT. They were just starting out with the internet. We just got into the internet. That's true, by the way. I remember making back in the time when you made a web page, you had to program it in HTML. I remember that, which wasn't hard because you could just go to another web page and follow the HTML that they had, copy paste, figure out, like play around with it and figure it out, and then you had a web page. Well, that was back in the day with like Alta Vista and all those like random search engines, Netscape. Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there a little bit sooner than you will, Solate US Expat, but I'm not there yet. But I'm close. Very close. That's right. Did you all have the World Book Encyclopedia? I had that. when I was like 6, I used to just read that thing constantly. Because I'm like my youngest son is just like this. He's like torturing us the same way I used to torture my parents, where I would just like question, 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 question. My dad's just like, fuck it. And just bought like a World Book Encyclopedia thing. So anytime I had a question, you just point. And I would get the World Book Encyclopedia and look up the thing and then read about it. And, we didn't have Google back then. We could just look up your answer and figure it out. But, and since my wife is like out of this stuff, yeah, nothing's changed. Hello, Ellie, softly. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I think we're all kind of so old we owe Jesus 5 shekels. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm just fortunate. I'm glad that I was smart enough to pay off the house as soon as possible. Because that having that sort of insecurity, or if you have rent or things like that, is not good. Not good at all. It just limits your flexibility. So, and by the way, I forgot about this. So, for those of you who bought the 2 books I released on Halloween, one of them already paid off its cost. I mean, I didn't sell them. I sold maybe 11 copies of Hellhold, which is not a lot, and then like 10 copies of Necromancer. So if you want to support the channel or anything like that, or just see how twisted my mind is, the links are below in the description. You can find them on Amazon, get them delivered, and all that good stuff. So please do partake. Gray Al will tell you he bought my first anthology, which is not as good as these subsequent ones because I've gotten better over time. So, and then there's no AI stories. I don't do that. Like that, I do not do. I only use the AI. I only use AI for scripts on the radio live streams. But for like creative writing, I do not. That's a big no. You do not do that. Do not do that. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't hit him up yet. There's a few people. And I haven't reached out to Diana Walsh Pasolka either, even though I need to. Yeah. My tax bill is $10K. So that's pretty good for like California actually has like actually the only good thing about like California government is property tax, because it can only increase by like 2% per year, regardless of what your house. All that matters is at what price you bought the house. And I bought my house during the financial crisis. So, yeah, again, this is not an endorsement. These are just full disclosure what I own. I own H-Bar. I bought that at an average of 24 cents. You can look and see how that investment's doing. And, so not well, hint. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin, I got it like, 99,000 something. Not one coin, but like a fraction of a coin. You can buy fractions of a coin. That's still above water. And then what's the other one? Ethereum, that's been not as much of a disaster as H-Bar, but I'm losing money on that. And then net on cryptocurrency, I am losing money. So, but I have not lost money, which means I haven't panicked and sold. I'm just, again, you should only put in the amount of money that you're willing to lose. Otherwise you will go crazy, right? Like first make sure you have like a stable And I would say that it's what I put in is probably less than, let me just make sure, it is less than 1% of my net worth. Like not crazy money. Um, it's still painful to watch though. I don't. So Michigan Sandman is writing. Are you going to get any Bigfoot guys on? Kawani Laperatus would be a great interview. Yeah, I don't have anybody currently scheduled, but it's just because I haven't reached out to like I just I've been meaning to reach out to people, but I just haven't. Because I do have about 5 interviews worth or 5 episodes worth of interviews scheduled right now. So I haven't felt a lot of urgency, even though I should. Yeah. So Roger writes, especially today, my place is paid off and property tax is cheap in Florida. And if I was paying rent right now, I would be starving. Economy is slow because everyone is broke here. Yeah. Rich snowbirds are coming back, so hopefully big business will get better. No, I haven't had time. I really I haven't. I've been pretty busy. Yeah, yeah, super simple. Super simple. H bar is the most speculative, and I'm paying for it. Believe me, I'm paying for. But I I keep hearing people. You know they keep saying it could go to $10. So take 24 cents, and 40x it, and it could do well. Right? Is it 40x? Um. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like 40x. 40x. Oh man, thrift stores that stores on the new Walmart. Yeah, that's true, Roger. You're gonna get business is gonna be really good really soon. It's coming. Like they are gonna flee that. Like that. Like New York is doomed. Like it's doomed. They're done. They're done. But that's what you get. That's what you get. Never forget my ass. They forgot after 25 years. So look, I don't like I hate going to New York. I absolutely can't stand it. I can just feel like it's just there's something about the energy there that just drains me. It just feels wrong, feels off. Um, Let me see. I just got to put that public service announcement up. Oops. Why would I take it down? Anyway, I don't know where I lost my train of thought. Please do check out those books. And those of you who did, thank you very much. So ZERP, XRL, XLM, HBAR, 8. I'll go mostly. Yeah, I literally, I literally invested in HBAR because I was, I was just told that like it's, just be patient. They're flushing out people on margin, basically. Like all those people are getting flushed out, and then once they start having ETFs with HBAR, which I think they already started, then it's we'll see. I don't know enough about crypto to even be making decisions like that. All I know is that Kathy Wood, who used to work at I think the Capital Group, um, I can't remember. Like she's just a really amazing investor, and basically was saying that Bitcoin in like 5 to 10 years could go to like 1.5 million in a bull case. So I'm like, yeah, it sounds like the winner already. So I'll just park, some cash there and just see how it does, and not panic. Yeah, 100%, 100%. That's why I waited this long in my life before I invested in any of that, because you don't want to be at the time where like the crypto wallets are insecure and there's people are running scams. And somebody told me the other day that his father had like 1.5 million in some cryptocurrency and went to sell it, and somebody literally just took it, just scammed it away from him. So I just use exchanges that I think are not stable, but reputable. So I started with Fidelity, obviously, which I could only get like three types of currencies. So, which is basically Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. But I just got the other two. And then I had to get Coinbase, set up a Coinbase account just to get the H bar. But other than that, I'm not putting anything in it for until I hit my cash number. Let's see. Logan's busted my balls. Yeah. Oh, interesting. 1 million by 2028. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Um, no, I don't even know what that is. Michigan Sandman said, "Do you get Frid protected wallet?" I'm going to get one. I don't have enough to like go that crazy with it, but I just know that I have way too much in cash, which is pretty dumb, but I'm also paranoid. So, yeah, they are a sales tax on Americans, but they also protect U.S. industries. So, tariffs. Wait, so Trump's tariffs sound like they are about to get shut down by the courts. Expect the country to collapse when that happens. Tariffs are a sales tax on Americans because they increase the price. But why would the so if that's the case, why would the country collapse when they shut down the tariffs? Oh, RFID. I see. Oh, for top pay credit cards. Oh, RFID. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So what else we talk about? I literally came here having no content, and you all have done done me well by providing me with enough to talk about. So it's sorry for folks if we started talking like investing in cryptocurrency. Um, I really had no plans to talk about that kind of stuff. I don't even know what the rules are for talking about that kind of stuff, which is why I'm a little hesitant. But time for Bigfoot talk. What's the deal with what is the deal with Bigfoot? Why are people um well, not the one tonight. Not the one tonight. But you probably I saw the 3 days of darkness was up. I probably can't talk about last week's either because I haven't seen that. So Roger Claiborne said there are no U.S. industries collapses because our debt is too high, and that's for hidden sales tax increase. Tariffs are us paying for it. Well, yeah, 100%, and that's why there's so much inflation, right? You can also pay off debt by inflating the currency, right? So just having more dollars and those dollars pay down more debt, but by inflating, but then everything costs more. Yeah, I think I think it's probably some hyperdimensional element to that. But yeah. And yes, tariffs are being used to, generate additional income. But I think part of the tariff thing is also just a negotiating tactic as well. You know, yeah, I'm surprised that usually these monthly podcasts don't get as much love as they are today in terms of like just number of people. Let me see if that's yeah, I guess it's doing okay. Oh crap, I didn't set that up. Whoops. Oh, I did now. I got lucky, dodged the bullet on that. So usually only people who are subscribers can enter the chat or can like chat on here. And I didn't set it up this time. And fortunately, I don't think anybody came in and took a big dump on this chat screen. 100%. In fact, I can tell you what's going to happen because that may have been a recent target. It's going to be like remember 1987 Panama when we went looking for Noriega. It's going to be kind of like that. Although I think they're going to shut down the grid in Caracas somehow, and Maduro is going to be at some estate in the countryside hiding, whereas U.S. Special Forces, Delta, whatever you call it, CIA, are huffing through the mountains trying to find him, but he's not going to be in the mountains. And he will be at this estate on during the winter, or no, sorry, the summer solstice, June 21st, 2026. So they're probably not going to find him. They will not have found him by that point. That's take that as you will. But that's kind of again, the remote viewers didn't know what they were looking for, and that's kind of what showed up. Or that was the target, and they were reporting things consistent with the target. The Giza and underground updates, we're talking, remember Bledsoe said March 2026. We'll see. Hey, thank you, Tac Track. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Seriously? Seriously? Another one? Yeah, the EU will get smoked if they do. They will get smoked. Russia's had 3 years of combat experience. And the EU, you know. Oh boy. Oh yeah, the US would definitely get involved. So Future Forecasting did an RV session on China and Taiwan. DAS got data that they will attack at the end of 2027 with signs of aggression next year. I wonder if other countries will get involved. Most certainly the United States would. So the guy who did Japanese meditation is real? What guy? Say more. Okay, so Solat US Expat said, I am not a member anymore since I can't afford it. So I was wondering if Japan and South Korea will get involved. I doubt. No, probably. Probably. Although I think South Korea, they'll probably try to keep them back because if they get involved, all China has to do is tap North Korea on the shoulder and they destroy Seoul in a day. So I think we'd be smarter but I think Japan will probably get involved. Okay. I can ask. Let's see what else. Yeah, again, sorry to plug the books again. Please check them out. Please, please. I'm constantly trying to find other ways to kind of get that stuff out. So I also have a novel that I completed 10 years ago, but I just kind of got it formatted. Now I want to go through it and just do one more pass before I release that. But I wanted to release that on November 15th, but that's probably too soon. But I will release it sometime this year. I think it's really stupid. I'm just so Logan Clark is saying, "What do you think about nuke testing?" I if we do that, I hope we do it underground, because if we do it above ground, it's gonna like fuck us all up, like with just radiation and all that stuff. It's just not smart. Oh, Benton Ryer. What about Benton? I think he's in Japan now. Well, we haven't tested a nuclear weapon since 1991. So who knows if we're actually gonna? Who knows if they still work? So yeah, nuclear testing is utter insanity. I agree, but we don't know if they work anymore because all like these things are so old. So who knows? Oh wow, this Giorgiani episode is starting to take off. I've never seen that before. Here, I'll just show you all. I've never seen that before. Hold on, let me see if I can. I gotta find where that tab is. And it's adding subscribers. I mean, it's still very early. It's hard to tell with these things, but let's see if I can. Here we go. So you see this like this kind of concave upward view. I've never seen that before this early. Usually it just kind of goes up, and then you can see like normal you can see these historically. Oops. Oh, for goodness sake. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this so I can see the dang thing. So just zoom in. It very rarely goes like this, where it just kind of goes up. So it's looking pretty good. Although it didn't really change the last time. And it's got a good, for a good, better than average click through rate. So let's see what's going on with it. Yes, it's mostly from the browsing. Let's see if there's external. Not really. Anyway, this is kind of like the way this stuff looks. So yeah, see, it's like curving upward. That rarely happens like that. So for what it's worth, seems like it's doing okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Nice. Yeah, Nathaniel Gillis is a good dude. He's a good dude. Yeah, I've so on the Virginia thing, Nathaniel Gillis is saying like locals are saying that there were rituals that were performed and these things came out of the woods basically. So there's like an alternative story. Oh, really? Why have they been Fred? Why have they been banning channels left and right, even big ones? Like, what the heck's been going on? Please let me know so I can at least be defensive about it. Huh? But Fred, please, you got me anxiety spiked. Yeah, well, think of paranormal as actually just normal. We just don't fully understand the nature of reality the way the nature of reality is. All you have to do is start with the double slit experiment, and that kind of you can extrapolate from that, and it explains a lot more, right? Where we kind of manifest reality in some way, not like The Secret, but in a more probably intricate and sophisticated way than that. Yeah, 100%. But the U.S. Army and CIA didn't do it for 20 years for nothing, and they're still doing it, by the way. In fact, the Future Forecasting Group was a different group from the Ingo Swann group. It was U.S. Special Forces in Hawaii that adapted remote viewing from someone named Richard Ireland, who was a psychic. Whereas the remote viewing from the Fort uh, Fort Meade group came from SRI and Ingo Swann. So, and there's probably other remote viewing out there that we don't even know about. So Roger Claiborne said, I have had quite a few paranormal experiences when I was searching for them. None now that I don't seek them. Yeah, part double slit experiment stuff. I'm not sure if you're just saying that to be funny or if that's true. I went on a Gillis watchathon and started having succubus dreams. Oh my God. They're claiming they're related to some Japanese scam channel, but these are established channels in cybersecurity, etc. Probably bad algorithm or someone on purpose found how to trigger it. Oh my God. Are there any types of channels that are getting triggered by this, or because that sounds like a nightmare? Okay, Lynn McTaggart and Dr. Bruce Lipton. I can try. I don't listen to it, but I know exactly who he is. He's an interesting character. Oh, I gotta tell Nathaniel that. I probably shouldn't have laughed. Um, but because some people have really dark experiences with that stuff. But it never bothers me. I don't know why. I just see owls, and I like to see owls. They're kind of neat. But all right, I gotta go because I gotta meet the next. I gotta do the next video for future forecasting, and I gotta get ready for that. So anyway, thank you so much for coming to my little corner on the internet. I appreciate you all. Definitely check out my books. I know my books in the thing below, mainly Hellhold and other stories, and Necromancer and other stories. Yeah, thank you, Logan. Yeah, Michigan Sandman. Start recording your dreams. Like when you wake up, just write down your dreams, and you'll believe in the paranormal real fast once you start having precognitive dreams. Because I've had between 3 and 5 of them, 3 of which have been documented in my community tab before they happened. So just you'll believe that there's something beyond the physical once you start doing that. Thank you, Logan. Take care, Time Peace Adventures. Love you all, and see you again this weekend.
Breaking news.